Alrighty, hello, it's art stream time! Which of course means that I am hopping back into the world of creating art for you guys, which is excellent. So, today we're working on an entry for the group that I'm a part of, an ARPG, or ARPG. Art RPG. Yeah. CURIOS, which is also called Scatterstar Isles, which is cute little sphinx creatures. And I'm working on an entry for the event that's going on right now, which involves fun mystical writing in the desert. So, first things first, I had my sketch done already. There's some tweaks that need to happen to it, but overall I'm pleased with it. So, to get started, I'm going to make a layer above where my sketch is. And I'm actually, I think, going to turn off all those. Makes it so you can't see what the writing that I was doing looks like, but that's fine, because we're not focused on that at the moment. We are focused on the fact that I think Estelle's main body color is the white one again, so maybe I'll just turn this one back on. So it's this color. Yeah, almost the whole gang is here now. So let's see. Wow, there's 5 people. That's a lot for me at the moment. Hooray! So we're just going to go ahead and get into it, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm trying to work with Estelle at the moment. So, initially, Estelle was, and is still sort of, mostly interested in fabrics, because when I got her from a flat sale raffle, so flaffle, she was in a very pretty ball gown because she was part of, I believe, New Year's set of art, which didn't really give me a whole lot to go on at the time, and I still don't really have a whole lot to go off if I'm being honest. That, and I've never really been involved with one of these types of games before, so all I'm really doing is my best as I try and figure out how I want to play this game. And incidentally, initially I put her as part of the Archaeologists Guild, because there's a couple of guilds that you can be a part of that just let you do certain different things throughout the areas. And, well, now I'm sort of thinking that maybe she just joined that for fun, and perhaps that she's just sort of seeking out new experiences to make better clothes, design better things, because when I initially saw Estelle, seemed like a socialite type, seemed like somebody who enjoyed fashion, but at the same time I'm not somebody who is one of those people. So it's very much like, well, now what do I do? I personally know very little about fashion, but I like the idea that she makes her own clothes and makes her own stuff, and so goes out to find fun information to turn into outfits. And mystical floating writing in the desert is definitely one of those types of things. Yeah, I think This just needs to be a smooth arc. On the other hand, she's very fun to draw as a character, so it's one of those questions of, well, how do I work this? And no doubt you got some of those types of characters yourself, if you're an artist or even a writer. My only advice for that end is sometimes you just gotta roll with what they give you and do your best to make it work. And other times you can force it, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, let's see. What else? So, yes, I am mostly doing drawing Estelle in these event scenarios if she would be involved with it for any purpose of inspiration or interest. The first event that I ever drew anything for this was the introduction of a new pet, which is sort of some sort of well, bug. It was a butterfly, like millipede thing. They're called Moramorphas, and I love them dearly. My Estelle, has two of them. Their names are Gem and Ninny, and their names in conjunction are a reference to Gemini, the constellation of the twins, and separately their names are for mostly jokes. Gem is based off of an 80s cartoon character. 80s, 70s, 80s cartoon character that was a pop star who had a very confusing double identity thing going for her. And Ninny is just for fun, making a good reference verbally to Gemini. Not meant to downplay Ninny at all. But Ninny's also more of a how to put it? They're the coward of the two, but they're also gold and like lapis lazuli. They're blue aquamarine color because I wanted to, and so because they're both pretty colors and cowardly energy, my thought process for Ninny specifically is Estelle probably uses them as a form of natural jewelry from time to time. One, because Ninny feels safe with Estelle, and two, because Ninny's a pretty color, a nice gold. You'll also notice that there's an elephant that Estelle is on. Estelle herself was not did not get a mount until Valentine's Day. I don't necessarily like the drawing that this the way this looks at the moment, but it's good enough for now. But this is Mel. It's a he. Yeah, he's a Fantapin, and I entered a raffle on the Discord for these guys, and in that I won from a very nice person. Mel, the Fantapin. And one more. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes you just gotta layer it a lot to get the amount of look you want. And in this particular case, I don't need to merge those layers yet. It's useful for the other parts, but I need to go and look again because it's been a while since I drew her. So, fingers, toes, and tail. Got it. Mainly because I hid the complicated front part here. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up this. We're gonna take my automatic inverse again. And we're gonna come here where I'm going to basically color in Estelle's nice little markings that she's got. I try and keep the full markings underneath the clothing so that even if it turns out like the clothing turns out specifically, I still have something to reference underneath it. Now I've been doing a nice big starburst shape. This doesn't go out far enough, not in my opinion. Yeah. Alright. Now I go back to the gallery and we look again. And just for my own sake. Okay, looks like the ears were orange too. And there was some up near the neck. Got it. So boop, invert, boop. So we got some that travels down here. and likely crosses over here. Estelle is very starbursty because of the fact that she was and is basically a New Year's adopt. I'm just sort of adding my own like hidden markings under fur and stuff because I think it's fun to have secrets like that in your characters. Oop. Looks like I just need to make sure that I do that too. And there we go. My orange. Now my blues don't show up in a whole lot of places. They tend to be reflections. I don't think, yeah, it won't let me do that. Got it. Probably should have done this on another layer, but sometimes you just gotta do things the old-fashioned way. And by old-fashioned way, I of course mean just coloring. It's part of the reason why I like digital art. Lets you do so much with the colors. Now I believe Estelle's neck is just straight up blue. So I'm gonna have to double check that, obviously. But if it is, more's the better for me. Yep, neck is blue. So yes, where was I? Yes. Estelle is a New Year's adopt. So I don't really have a whole lot of plans for her design wise. She feels very close to being complete, in my opinion. I do like the big old starbursty fireworks effects. But let me get my thoughts a little bit in order here. She's also, and this is her skin tone, by the way. I feel like, just as like a finishing touch for Estelle, as far as she goes, in my opinion, it would be probably she needs a split for her tail so that she has two tails instead of one tail. Just because, in a way, she reminds me of like the Maneki Neko dolls. Yeah, I don't like that shape. It just needs to be centered, I think. The ones that will bring you good luck or good fortune or what have you. So I feel like a second tail would suit her well. Because I feel like she brings good fortune. And yeah, I give her toe beans because I like toe beans. So, got the basic colors down, which is good, let's see. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. So I have this reference images stuff over here. Specifically to do stuff like this. And did I get the whole of this one? Looks like that I did. So I know that I've referenced that Estelle is an adopt, right? I've said that before. But specifically, Estelle is a New Year's Eve adopt or a New Year's adopt. So for me at least, the main goal for her, in my opinion, is for her to be at least somewhat mystical. Because of her nature, incidentally. She is sometimes hard for me at least, to get what feels correct. So I enjoy when I get a chance to play around with her, because she's just straight up a fun time because it's New Year's. She's got sparkles. She's got the glowy beads. Sure. Some of my favorite things. Love that I picked just the same color for the night sky as the tail beads. It means that all you can see with her in the desert out here, other than the fact that her fur is very, very white, that she's got glowy tail beads. Like you would only see the fringe and the glowing. Let's see. Next would be the hair. So we can merge the colors again. And I think we can merge the lines onto this now. Just to make some space for me and opinions. So her hair is basically the same color as her tail beads. Let's see. Yep. So for me to get her hair right, I gave her a lot of swoops and wavy hair because I wanted her to be a fancy lady. Of course, like I said at the beginning, she's a character who's someone I struggle to come up with ideas for because we are not very alike as character and creator go. Of course, that's fun in its own way because you get to explore a facet of maybe yourself that you didn't know, or hiya, Coop. Nice to see ya. Glad you're here. For those of you who are just now joining me, if you haven't followed me yet, I would appreciate it. I've only got 7 followers at the moment, and my goal is to get to 10. We're working on some art group submissions today. And that means Estelle, my curio for the group, Scatterstar Isles, which has a lot of lore, which I barely understand and don't really know how to go about getting into, other than feet first. We're in the desert. Looking for floaty writing in the sky. I'm talking about my difficulties in doing Estelle justice. Alright, now let's make sure we get all the way over. And good, we got a nice selection of hair going here. Which means I can go get the darker hair color, get my paintbrush, which I use for this coloring wise. Oh, good. That reveals to me, of course. Alright, did not add enough. And there we go. We've got Estelle's hair. I'll probably pop back over and do an outfit on top of this later. Probably something that I look up to get some fun inspiration for. But that means that's good, and I can remove it, but I shouldn't delete it. It's always good to have those little doohickeys. So, alright. I'm still working in the hair. Yeah, I like that. Doesn't read further away very well, but I do like that better. Alright, we can merge the beads on there. I'll have to draw in the flashlight later. Or the lantern or whatever it is I'm going to use. I'll just group you together, that way I can turn you on and off when I want to. And turn back on the desert and the stars, I think. So, I want to mess with this, so we're gonna duplicate it. We're gonna turn that one off, mainly because I want to try this again. Yeah, that gives off the weird sort of look that they were going for the writing that I think. I very much like that better, so we're going to merge those together, and then we're going to take my eraser and we're going to turn it down. Yep. I need to be bigger, I think. But I should probably wait until I figure out where I'm going to put the light, because the light is going to tell me where I can keep things bright. So then we'll probably go ahead and do Gem and Ninny for these two popsicles. Cute little bugs. Nope, that's the wrong one, because there's 3 in here. I think we'll go ahead and we'll take this, because it's the best layer that I got. For my girl at the moment. At least for getting the colors of her little bug creatures. Yes, they're like moles and beetles and caterpillars and butterflies all at the same time. Very fun. Take my eraser. You may be involved in this event, Pete, but I don't need you at the moment. And not in a pose that I've already gotten you with before. So, away you go. Yes. I thought that would perhaps intrigue you. Coop of the bugs. We all have those friends. Those friends who are big fans of the weird creatures. So, like I was saying earlier, Jem and Ninny are her little creatures' names. They're about the size of small cats, is what I remember from the description. And they're a play on the constellation Gemini. And Gem is also based off of the 80s kids cartoon character Gem and the holograms Gem. Very outgoing. Curious moth, butterfly, bug, millipede, beetle, mole. And I specifically designed Gem with Gem and the holograms in mind because I could go over all of the ways that I did that, but it's fairly obvious if you go and look her up. I took the light pink and the hot pink from the hair and the eye makeup that Gem wore. And the green from her eternal rivals, the Misfits. The reason I know so much about it is the person who's freaking out in the chat right now. My beloved Fairy Knight. Because, well, my favorite 70s, 80s TV show was always Captain Planet. She loved Gem. They kind of vaguely remind me of armadillos, too. There's so many creatures. Just put in this one creature. But yes, that's why Gem looks like this. But Nini is straight up living jewelry, so I went with pretty colors that I liked. Not to say that I don't like Gem's neon brightness, but she's a bit much sometimes. And I mean that for both Curios and for her own show. Let's see. Now I can move this. Come on. Move layer. Layer move. I'm just getting my lines a little bit warped because it makes me happy. And I can come in here and just make my lines a little bit clearer. Because again, Gemini and pals here. I realize I need this one to be duplicated. And for this to be cleaned up some. Personally, I think all of the kids shows from those '80s and '90s, '70s and '80s, those ones that really were only on like Boomerang there at the end should get a chance to come back into the spotlight. Because I like them. And I also want to see who they would pick to be new Planeteers. Because I feel like they deserve to be new Planeteers. Did you know that you could be one too? You have not given yourself the treat of listening to the Captain Planet theme song. You should do so. It is excellent. Now, where was I going? Right. Yep, I like that. Nice dark pink. Then of course we gotta do this one too. I just think everybody should watch or rewatch kids media. Kids media is the best media. And I will only elaborate on that. Stuff like Between the Lions. It's excellent. And everybody should watch it again. If just for cliffhanger. Is cliffhanger. Exactly. You gotta watch the kids shows. The kids shows, everybody's like, they're for kids. Yeah, but they teach you valuable life lessons that everybody needs to know at any given age. I mean, Captain Planet is outdated. I'm just using that as an example because it made a big impact on me as a child. But its whole thing, every single episode was about how you can take care of yourself and the planet, and how everybody's differences make a big difference together. Yeah, Bear in the Big Blue House. Most, if not all, of those shows are straight up be kind to each other, be kind to yourself, and have a good life. Why would you not watch those just because they're for kids? I mean, okay. So the Kids Next Door movie, like Agent Zero or whatever, Code Operative Zero. I still remember all of the plot twists for that one because, like, yeah, that one. That one's weird. There's all sorts of weird ones, but at the same time, they're good shows. They're narratively fun and rewarding. Believe. It's an excellent watch. We I believe watched it as kids. Yeah. Just a very good caring show. When you grow up with good kids shows, you just want to share all your good kids shows memories. Do you do that with adult shows? No, you don't, cuz adult shows aren't fun that same way. I'm not going to say they aren't fun. I'm the master of Captain Planet trivia. And I'm going to just talk about it because it's my favorite. Uh there was a lot for me about that show in particular. My favorite thing was the fact that Wheeler, the fireman from the United States, and can't remember her name, but she was Wind. She was from the USSR. Just kept flirting with each other in like the very pacifist aggressive manner, and I'm just thinking that's super funny to me. Captain Planet was supposed to get a live action television series with LeVar Burton being Captain Planet. Whoopi Goldberg is Mother Earth, as Gaia, the spirit of nature, which she deserves. There's so much to love for me about that particular show. One of my absolute favorite villains is Duke Nukem, which is his actual name, who is a I'm pretty sure he's just straight up an alien. I don't know if I've talked about him before. I probably have. He's my favorite, specifically because he's based off of the outdated information that the 70s had about nuclear power and stuff. So, he's not necessarily the best example, but it makes me so many laughs. I mean, they're all insane villains, but he's just a guy probably from another planet made out of radioactive materials just doing his thing on Earth. He's on vacation, hence why he's wearing his vacation shirt. Could you leave him alone? uh he's straight up in a Hawaiian shirt, and on my water bottle that I have, it's a thermos that my mom got me when I was younger because I loved it so much. Uh he, he's on it, and the thing is it's a bunch of like comic panels, and he says literally on here as he's grabbing like uranium rods, time for me and my hot rods to take a little fission trip. It's like fission. I believe it's called fission, but he's going fishing with his uranium rods. Like, leave him alone. He's on vacation. And I adore him. He's not a bad guy. He really doesn't do anything in the show. He's just here. And people don't like that. If you could not tell, he is my favorite character, and I'm never going to apologize for that. Um, but yes, kids shows, always watch kids shows, never watch anything else. It's the best thing you could do for yourself. So I'm going to ask because I gotta what kids show thing do you remember purely because it either made you feel incredible for noticing that, or because you didn't know how to process it? For me, valid. You are valid. Do your own thing. I believe in you. You have the freedom. I give it to you now. I have released you from your prison. Uh, for me, the the delightful children from friggin' Codename Kids Next Door messed me up during their movie. I was always like, they're the bad guys. It's I can easily tell they're the bad guys, and that movie just went, yeah, they're actually not so bad as you think they are. And if you haven't watched it, this is an old thing. Why haven't you watched this yet? I'm not shaming you, but at the same time, I'm going to be talking about it, so like, sorry, not sorry. But yeah, just the fact that they were operatives. God. The fact that they were operatives and they got stuck like that and nobody could save them kills me every time. Dead every time. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Always watch that. He is the reason you could watch all of these shows in the first place. Give it up for the OG, man. You gotta give it up for the OG. Okay, so now we got my little buggies in their correct places. Yeah, Puka is a kid's show. It definitely gives you a glimpse into other people's cultures for the first time, and I appreciated that one. Of course. Now I've got to ask, uh, what show do you guys think is overrated that everybody gives high praise to? And I'm not just talking kids shows, I'm talking any shows that people recommend to you. Uh oh. Oh. Grouchland. I have unlocked far many memories. Many memories have been unlocked this moment. I am over here and I'm over here and I'm asking, what, knife chair? Knife chair. What? um if you're talking about the Dragon Prince, I would agree with you, especially since the showrunners decided that you had to read a graphic novel before you could get into the latest. Um. Oh, Game of Thrones. I see. Knife chair. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I feel so silly. I never watched that once, ever. Knife chair show. See, they weren't even dragons. They were calling them dragons, and everybody was probably like, "Oh wow, look at the dragons!" But that ain't dragons. Those are wyverns. They are wyverns. I'm not taking anybody else's opinions on the matter. Those are wyverns, and you can say they're dragons all you want, but they ain't dragons. They did not have four limbs that were on the ground. You cannot tell me that those are dragons. I refuse to believe you. But I also despise the entirety of the Western's opinions that dragons are bad. See, I know nothing about Game of Thrones because I realized fairly quickly that it was just going to be angst, 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 angst. I tried to get into BBC's Merlin, couldn't do it for the same reason. Too much de angst. I'm not into the angst. I only really am. I'm not opposed to story progression stuff. I want to just say that now because I feel like it could definitely be construed as I'm not into necessary trauma to move the show forward, but see, I even if I wanted to get into that one, I could not. Um, not because of anything, but just because I don't deal well with scary, and from what I've seen, because it's all over Tumblr, where I basically live. Is scary at times. And sorry, that ain't gonna work for me. I cannot. Um. So yeah, I'm not gonna watch Stranger Things either because that also falls into the realm of that's scary, man. What you talking about? That's scary. Personally, I also don't really like the whole children saviors thing unless you write it really well so that it's not the kids are the only option. Yeah. Yeah. Coop, you may suffer from the same problem that I do, which is you're simply not expressive enough. Live TV actors, there are very few exceptions to that for me, at least. And one of those exceptions is the dude who plays R in Warm Bodies, which I would recommend immensely if you haven't ever seen it. It's a zombie apocalypse movie, but it's literally Romeo and Juliet. So, yes. Yes, the whisper acting. Ah, yes. That's why I mostly watch anime. And I have very many recommendations for anime because anime is very fun to watch. Specifically because they want to they I believe Brandon Sanderson talked about this in one of his lectures about books is you're giving people a contract, basically. This is going to be a happy ending. Usually with your fantasy stories, this is how it works, right? That's the contract you get when you start reading a book or watching a show. This is what you're going to get. And you don't get that in Japanese or other cultures' media because you're not used to how they form the contract. Plus, they have a bunch of different genres, literally geared towards different age groups, which is better than the American system, which is just adult, young adult, young adult, adult adult adult, adult 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 adult, romance, etc. I'm being silly with that, but at the same time, it's a genuine feeling that I have with that. If you like really fun, chill ones, Laid Back Camp is a good one. Just for literally being like, dang, maybe I should try camping. And that's literally the vibe you get off of it. I am not joking. It is one of my favorite anime ever. Specifically because it's just, I want to see how camping is like in Japan. And that's it. That's all you need to know about it. It's what camping is like in Japan. It makes me very happy. Please, please. Uh, we've tried Ancient Magus's Bride. We sibling finds it depressing, and I'm not. I've gone through my own depressive journey, and I don't need to watch somebody else do it. But at the same time, it's really pretty, and I love a good monster and fairy tale story. But, mmm, mmm. Yes, I completely understand. Let's see. Del Toro Quest, the American book series for kids, is also an anime. I freaking loved it, and nobody has it anymore. Yeah. It shows that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so somebody who has struggled with depression and watches Ancient Magus's Bride to just learn how to love themselves at least a little bit. Excellent stuff. I appreciate it greatly. I give 100% to it. It does what it sets out to do. There's a couple cool spin-offs. I liked uh the one that's they got a couple manga spin-offs. There's one that's French and she's a dragon princess from France and I love her. But again, they're all kind of woo. See? See, that's what I like to see. God, what other ones did I really like? Cuz I I love it. It's the best. One of the best mediums and stuff for storytelling. Of course, it has its own problems. Mainly the sexism that you can find sometimes just in the way things are drawn can be a problem. Ah, yeah, see. It's helping them grow as a person so it can help everybody else grow as people too, which we love to see. We love it. We love to see it. Oop, nope, I don't need to be on that layer. We can just merge all of these layers now. Oop, hidden ninny. But yes, there's a like French Blue or something like that spin-off manga that I really liked because big dragon lady. If you could not tell from my own face, I'm a big fan of people who are also dragons, dragons who are also people, etc. This creature is hard for me to conceptualize. I can only do what I can do. But yeah, Spy X Family is excellent. Um, if you've watched it, favorite character, please. If you've read it, also give me a favorite character. I need it. I need to know that there are other people like me. I love Frankie. He's my favorite. And I was just reminded, or rather, sung at by my mother. They're really good at edutainment animes as well. If you don't mind me saying so, Cells at Work is good. Anya's a good character, yes. Cells at Work. You wouldn't expect me to like it just because of it's pretty gory, but it's like you you don't realize that it's gory because this is just how your body actually works. Which is weird and funny at the same time. Plus it's a kind of adorable love story. And they emphasize that more in the anime than they do in the manga for Cells at Work. But I love Frankie. He is my favorite character. He is the guy for all time for me, basically. He follows like several of my favorite like character tropes, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Which is straight up, yeah, I don't, what are you talking about? We're best friends. Also, we're not best friends, we're work colleagues, but we're best friends. Don't know what he's on. We're best friends. We're besties. If you like Spy X Family, I remind me. I have a fan fiction for that that's basically really, really good. That they took the Spy X Family characters and turned them into isekai, basically. It's the reincarnated spy wants a peaceful family life. It's Spy X Family, but fantasy setting. Yours a deadly rabbit woman. It's fantastic. And I will link you to it so that you can also read it. It's like 68 chapters long at the moment. It's very good. But I'm also like, I get into weird things at weird times. So like I'm also really into Ace Attorney even though I've never really played any of the games except for the first one. And I probably never will. Alright. Go enjoy your sad kids show that features colonialism and accepting yourself for who you are as its main themes. I still don't know how to draw one of these things. Gonna pull up a reference on my main computer because I struggle with the Fantapins so much. I wish I understood them. I wish I understood how to draw them, but I do not. So I will do what I can. Alright. So basically I drew this part a little bit off. Get back here. It's more sleek than I thought. Ish. And we get the big brute-like shoulders. Big old broody shoulders. Think I figured maybe no. Big old broody shoulders and flat feet like elephants. But they don't really do much like that. And they got club like tails, which I forgot. So we got that. Okay. I think that's pretty good design wise. Which is pretty good. And then I take this color. Oop, no, don't tell me. Where is my break? First off, I gotta clean this up, obviously. I can't have this being all broken up like this. Oh, when you do, please let me know. I helped Fairy, because Fairy was the one playing it at the time, go through it, and it can be a little bit weird with the way you have to do things. Sometimes I would not mind being your person in the chair, basically, if you would like me to be. I like that. That's a cute little Ankylosaurus tail, so I'm gonna go with that. What else? Because there is stuff for me at least. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Did that work? Yeah. Okie dokie. I've also, yeah, I got a lot of stuff that I like. One of my favorite things at the current moment is um oh, that would be why I got it. So my friends and my family know that one of my favorite things to do is to back Kickstarters. I love backing Kickstarters for games and things that haven't necessarily started to come out yet. One of the things that I backed for a while ago was Kindred Fates. If you haven't heard about it, it's a Pokemon like, but with a permadeath feature. Which you'd think would make it like not something that I'd want to play, right? You'd be incorrect, mainly because the way they went about advertising it was really interesting, and the monsters themselves look really fun. So when I get that, I'll have to play that on stream with you guys, just so that you can see how good of a person that I am taking care of my creatures. Alright, so here we go. We got Mel. I think I'll just go with that. Technically, I do have a thought process for the design here, but it's still a work in progress, very much so. I'm not really sure how I want to go about it. Other than like all elephants, I definitely think that Mel has beautiful eyelashes. So, yeah. Kind of like those lines for the back there. I actually need to get rid of all of the lines that are here and involving you. I don't think any of them are really staying except for the lines that make up the dunes until I do colors like that. Yeah, okie dokie. Have fun! We're gonna go ahead and do that actually. I'm enjoying the process of this particular. I'll do it one more time. Just get rid of that one. And then we take this and we erase all these little like gray lines. Set her over here with the campsite. Alright, go very carefully so that I don't get rid of my guides over here. Then I take my blur finger brush and I just blur it a little bit. And I just continue to do that a little bit. Then I lower the opacity, lower the opacity, lower the opacity, lower the opacity, and merge them all down. And we duplicate this layer, and we throw it all the way up to the top, and we maybe do an overlay. Nah. I'll take these two specifically and put them over that so that we get that nice luminescence. And I think that's where I'll drop it for now. I'll probably finish this tomorrow and post it on DeviantArt and Tumblr for you guys to see. But I think that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like what I do, maybe give me a follow or go to my coffee where You can help me save up for a better computer so that I can play more games like Minecraft and what have you. Things that people definitely might want to see me do because I've never done them before. If you've missed a stream, you can find my streams in the archive on YouTube. There's a link in the description on my Twitch channel and to my bio. So if you want to go rewatch some stuff or see stuff that I've done in the past, that's where to go. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the universe. I hope you had fun, and I hope you have a wonderful day, morning, evening, or whatever out there in the world. Bye bye!